All right, so today I'm going to show you guys practical application of using butt joints and pocket holes in particular to make those butt joints doing a repair. These drawers, they're kitchen cabinet drawers, busted up obviously. You know, they're held together with some nails. The wood is really just kind of brittle, just falls apart. You know, from the cabinet just being pulled all the time, just rips apart. Or just some staples in there. Okay, pretty typical damage. This happens a lot. All right, I got two of these. I'm just going to show you guys one. All right, so we're going to make a new drawer box here. I already did my measurements and some math here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use some basic, this is poplar wood. It's 1x4 wood. You can buy this at Home Depot, Lowe's, any of these places already like this. You would have to cut it to the dimensions you need or have them cut it there. We're going to use our pocket hole jig. I'm going to show you guys how to use that. We already saw the video. I got some other stuff here, all right? All right, so basically I did all my measurements already, and I have to really be pretty precise on measuring this old drawer, because I want to make the new drawer the exact same size, so the person whose drawer this is can just take it home and put it right back in. If I make it the wrong size, it's not going to fit. I mean, that'll be bad. So we got to make sure we do some careful measuring, get the exact measurements we need, and we got to make a box the exact same size right here. Okay, that's what I have here. I did all my measurements. I cut it. You measure the width across here, but you have to account for these side pieces here, the way we're putting this together. But these are just butt joints, right? We're just having two pieces of wood butting right up against each other, as simple as it gets, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pocket holes to put these butt joints together. Okay, so we're going to do pocket holes that are going to put those butt joints together just like that. All right, we're going to work on that. But basically, like I said, I did the math here for measuring. It's got to be spot on with these measurements, all right? If you are afraid of the math and you want to try doing something like this, and the math isn't your strong point, you can put the two pieces of wood together here, okay? All right, take that, make a little mark with your pencil there, okay? This is the thickness of the two side pieces. We've got it flush here against the side. I made a mark, okay? And then you can measure from here, from your mark, to the end of the drawer, and that should give you the size of your piece that you need from there, okay? You gotta remember to take into account the thickness of these two pieces together, because we are gonna put this drawer together like this. All right. So it needs to be measured out like that. So good. All right. Okay, so like I said, we're going to use pocket holes, and I like to draw it out just so I can visualize. That's where I'm going to put my pocket holes on my drawer. Okay, this is going to be the front, all right? The drawer front is going to cover those pocket holes up, so I'll never see those pocket holes in the front, all right? And if we go along to the back, if I put pocket holes and I put them back here, you're never going to see them in the back of the drawer either. So those two pieces, that's how we're going to put our pocket holes in the front and back pieces, so they stay hidden, okay? They're the shortest pieces. It makes it a little easier that way too. And remember from the other video we watched, we want that screw for the pocket hole to go in this way into the wood. It's stronger that way instead of coming out this way. All right. Another reason why I want to do it this way is thinking of all the times you pull and push this drawer in and out. Okay. Having those screws pushing into the sides is the strongest way to do it. Okay. If we were to do a butt joint like this, for instance, where the screws were, say, coming in this way, all right, and every time we pull and push that drawer, the screw might just come out, okay? That's not as strong, but if we do it this way, okay, it's a lot stronger, all right? All right, so for my students here at the shop, this is what our shop closet looks like, and in particular, here's our screw guns, batteries, but for the pocket holes in particular, we have all labeled out right here, pocket hole drill bits and pocket hole screws, and we have it nicely diagrammed, the square drive bit, right? We have the 1 1/4 inch screws here that have the square head, special square head for those screws. They're all in here whenever we need them, right? We need those special screws when we're putting together. And here we got the pocket hole drill bits, okay? These are the special step drill bits with the stop collar, right? And the special drill bit head, right? Everything's labeled here for you guys, just for the pocket holes. And then we have our pocket hole jigs at the bottom here. But everything that we have, our driver bits, again, square head driver bits, right here. This drives the square end screw into the pocket hole. Okay, so that's how we have everything laid out in the shop. Got to use the right tools for the right job. All right, so I'm all set up with my pocket hole jig. Attach it to the table with a clamp so it doesn't move on me. I adjusted the bit here for 5/8 because this is the thickness of my material. I'm using 5/8. Okay, so I adjusted the bit, and the adjustment here is also for 5/8. Okay, got to make sure we do that. Always check the adjustment. All right, so here, like I said, I visualize it. I like to draw it in where I want my pocket holes to go, so I have an idea what I want to do. I gotta be careful. I have this groove here that I made in the wood, so the bottom panel of the drawer fits in. You don't necessarily have to do this, but this is the way I build drawers. Okay, but this is where I want my pocket holes to go. I've got these 3 holes here, so if I kind of want them here, I want to use these 2 holes, A and C. Okay, it spreads out these 2 screws about this wide. All right, and it's not too close to the edge, so I won't split the wood. And they're not too close together. Like these 2 are too close together. It doesn't really hold that well. So these are spread out, and it makes a pretty good strong joint. And we're going to do our pocket holes now. Bring the vise back. Try to line it up here. You can just do it by eye. Precision isn't critical, especially in this application. Lock that in. I got my drill set on 2, which is the higher speed. Lean it out. Okay, and then one piece, and then you just flip it over and do the other side. It's good to draw it in because it avoids doing any mistakes. A lot of mistakes are you're going to flip this over and flip it to the wrong side and have the pocket holes on the wrong side, and then this piece is no good anymore. So if you draw that in ahead of time, it kind of helps you out from not making mistakes. Okay, that's one piece. We just got to do one more. All right, so we got our drawer. We got our pieces all together here. Our butt joints. We got our pocket holes. All right, so now we gotta start putting it together. All right. Couple ways I'm going to show you. One way, we want to line up our pieces, right? And you want this as flush as possible here. You want to line this up. I'm going to grab a pencil. Let me get this as perfect as I can. Okay? And holes. I'm going to make a mark with my pencil. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scrap piece of wood. This is a piece of scrap. And I'm going to put it in here, right up against that, right up against the edge of the piece. Okay, so this is flush and this piece is here. Because what's going to happen is when I try to screw the screw in with the screw gun, okay, I'm screwing in this way, this piece of wood is going to want to drift, or it's going to want to kind of come in this way towards here, and this will shift off alignment a little bit. If I put this piece of block of wood behind it and line this all up, okay, and make sure it's nice and flush, all right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these clamps. We have lots of them in the shop. And put this here, give it a little squeeze, recheck it. Am I all good? Okay, I'm really good now. I'm going to really squeeze really hard and get that clamp nice and tight. Now when I put my screw in with my screw gun, it can't go anywhere this way. I just got to keep it down straight and keep it straight this way. So it kind of eliminates one of my variables here, all right? And when we want something to last, we're always going to use some glue, okay? So we're going to put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue on the other surface. We always do 2 surfaces, or at least I do. And I'm going to spread that out here. Spread it out here, probably just a little bit more on the end grain. Okay, because this is end grain over here. Just kind of push it in. Make sure we get it in there. Get a nice little bit of glue in there. Alright, now we got like a little wet rag or something to wipe my hand off with. And put that on. Alright, we got that here. It's all set up here. Put my screw in. And put my screw in here. So now, I slowed my drill down to 1 to keep it slow. I don't want to blast right through. I'm going to keep this here. I'm going to hold it in place. Alright, and just slowly screw it in, and then stop. I'm going to get some resistance, okay? You can see it squeeze the glue out there. We'll do the other one. As soon as I get some resistance, I stop. Alright, and that's nice and set there. That's the first method, okay? Take that off. Take your scrap off. Don't just wipe off a little bit of glue. Try not to let that scrap get glued down. Alright, so this is the other one. And this is if you plan on doing this a lot. There's a handy little clamp we have in here at the shops, also made by Craig just for pocket holes and just for this situation. Okay, here's our other pocket hole side. We line it up. Alright, get it all flush. What this clamp does, goes right in the pocket hole like that. We line it up, all perfect. Squeeze. Alright, holds it in place for us automatically. Alright, and then, like before, put the screws in. Alright, but this is, extra money. You don't really have to do it. You could do it the other way that I showed you. But that's 2 methods of holding those drawer sides in place as you assemble them. Alright, so I have my 2 butt joints here, my pocket holes. I just did this in like the C or U shape. I was talking about how I have this groove here. It's going to hold in the bottom of the drawer, okay? This is my method that I like to use. I mean, it's used a lot. It's not the only method you can use. You can just make a frame here and then put a piece of wood on top here, maybe just some small nails and glue all around on the bottom here, and that could be, you know, the bottom of your drawer. It's the kind of method they used here with this old broken drawer. You have this frame around the top, and then they just screwed this in at the bottom. I'm not a big fan of that. This method here, which we will learn in class when we make our jewelry boxes, okay? But I've got this paneled wood. It's just going to fit in here. It's already cut to size. You know, careful measuring and some math. We get that in to fit really good. And then we just have to finish the assembly of the box here, okay? So we just got to screw a piece up top here with our pocket holes, and we'll do that now. All right. Alright, so the drawer box is done. Put that together. This was the old drawer face. And what I did before I took it apart is I put a mark where the old drawer was lined up. So now I'm going to line up this drawer exactly where the old drawer was lined up. And this way, the person can just reinstall the drawer like nothing ever happened, but we have a much better brand new drawer box. Only thing that was a little surprise were these screws are kind of sticking out here. I couldn't get this tight. Right, it's kind of got a gap there. So we're going to solve that problem is I made a mark where those holes are. I'm going to use this is a countersinking bit. Okay, I'm going to use that countersinking bit. I'm just going to put a little indent right there. And right there. And that should line up. Now I don't have a gap there. Okay, so this lines up pretty good. What I'm going to have to do now is clamp this together. Put a couple screws in. Okay, and the drawer is done. I took the drawer slide hardware off of this old drawer. Took this off here. These have to get installed on the sides. They get screwed in from underneath. Okay, but before I do all those finishing touches, what I really want to do with the drawer is give it a little sanding. Some of these edges are still really sharp, so we got to round them off a little bit by just taking a little bit of sandpaper, say breaking the edge. So you can take that edge off with a little bit of sandpaper. It makes it nice, it rounds it over, feels a lot better. Give it a nice sanding and give it a couple clear coats of poly so it can be cleaned and sealed in case it ever gets dirty, because it will be in the kitchen. But then we'll, you know, it'll be done once we get those things finished. All right, so here we went, broken drawer, right, sad drawer, okay, it's a finished drawer, brand new box, solid wood, okay, drawer front's on. I mean, this thing is ready to go back to the customer or the client and just put it right back in their kitchen. I do want to put some poly on it. I'm going to do that later. That's a later video, but everything's all set up. I got the second one I'm going to do over there. That box is already put together, but we just used simple butt joint, okay, and we use pocket holes, all right? Simple stuff, careful measuring, putting it all together. You can take an old busted old drawer and make it brand new, all right? Hope you guys enjoyed the video.